play. I'll be right with you. Well, hello everybody. Happy Monday. If you're just popping in, say hello. Hi Libby, how are you? Oh, you're already ready for the club. That is a really fun thing to do. I will definitely get you some information about that ASAP. So tonight I am going to be working on a transfer that isn't brand new. It's actually, I think, being possibly retired or just on hold until next spring, but I love this transfer and I was excited to show it to you. This one's called Squeeze the Day, and I'm going to change my camera up a little bit so that you can see both my table as well as the project that I'm working on. So just give me 1 second so I can get this done. Put that up there, and this should work just fine. Okay, there we go. So we're going to be working with a really big transfer tonight. This again is called Squeeze the Day, and it has a beautiful vine base for your wreath and these beautiful leaves, and we're going to do a really cool technique with those. It also has the title here called Squeeze the Day that you can use in the center of your wreath if you'd like to. And there's also some flowers and some citrus. So there's limes, lemons, oranges, and also some berries. We're actually not going to be using this title or these fruits and flowers today, but I have something a little bit different in mind. So I'm glad you're here to see it happen. So the technique that we're going to be using on the leaves is something called Hot Mess. And if you had watched one of my videos this fall, you might remember that I did a fall wreath using the same exact technique, and everybody was just, oh my gosh, everyone who saw that wreath just loved it. So I think it's going to look really pretty on this one too. So to start out, this is one of our largest size E size transfers. And again, if this is something you might like, it is called Squeeze the Day. Make a note of that because you want to order that before the month's over, because this probably will be leaving our line. I'm still waiting to hear a complete list of everything that's going, but this one might be in it. I know it's not in the new catalog, so chances are it won't be available to purchase after the 31st. Anyhow, this is a cut apart transfer, so there are very fine lines that run through the design, and I'm just going to cut this in half to start and put this half away because we're not going to be using that tonight. So if you're just coming in, be sure to say hello so I know you're here. If this is the first time watching, write new in the comments so that I can welcome you. Libby, I think you have been here before though. So I just got a new cart to work with near my table, so hopefully I won't have so much stuff falling out. I do work on a pretty small table, but it's about all I can fit in this small room. And I'm going to adjust the view that you're seeing this too. So let me just cut this piece in half and we'll be ready to get started. Hi Annie, hi Christine. So, okay, so I've got this cut into 2 pieces, and this is really the only bit that I'm going to be using from this design itself. Let me adjust that just a smidge and see if I can, you know what, let me pull this down. I'm going to pull my website down so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Is that better? Okay, so we're going to be doing the stem or the branches of this wreath, kind of like a grapevine wreath first. And then we're going to follow it by going over it with the hot mess leaves. So if you look really closely, hey Garda, good job tonight on that design. She did her first design by herself today, or one of these days recently, and it came out really, really nice. So this is going to be a layered technique, and with these you might notice there's little tiny marks right there, and those are kind of like registration marks so that you know where to line up your layers. So we're actually going to chalk those so we'll know where to layer this one on top of it. Does that make sense? If not, you will see. So this is a brand new transfer that I have not used before. So when I have a new transfer, I always write on the back of them. So it's Seize the Day. And I'm going to write Vine. And my initial on the back and my initials on the front. One other thing you might note about this transfer here is that they're numbered so that you know what order to do them in. It's kind of obvious with this one, but not all of them. So this one is also Seize the Day. Squeeze the Day. What am I thinking? Squeeze. My initials. Oh well, I'll know what I meant later on. And right here we'll put my initials on the front. And the reason we put the writing on the back of all of these is so that, probably the most important reason is that when you have used this transfer, you've cleaned it, it's dried, and you want to put it back on the white carrier sheet that it came on, you want to always remember to attach the transfer to the shiny silky side, which is not the side you wrote in, but the inside layer. Let me get it, so I can get it peeled here. This one's being stubborn. They usually roll right off, but this one is not going to cooperate. Let's try this corner. Okay, I got it. So if you can see this, I'm not sure you can, but it is very shiny on this side of the paper, kind of like a sticker backing. And this side is more of a matte finish. If you happen to stick your transfer to the matte side by mistake, peel it off as soon as you can because it can stick really tightly there. So writing on the back reminds you not to stick it on the matte sides. So again, this should say Squeeze the Day, but I wrote Seize. That's just another phrase, right? So I'm going to peel the carrier sheet off and put that to the side for now. And since this is a brand new transfer, I'm going to do something called fuzzing. And what fuzzing does is it adds just a little bit of fiber to the back of the transfer. Some of our transfers are very, very sticky. And putting them on the towel or your t-shirt or something with a little bit of fuzz on it just helps to soften the adhesive a little so it doesn't stick quite so tightly. And if you have ever done layering with me before, you'll know that's especially important when you're doing layering so that it doesn't pull up what you already had chalked underneath it. So I'm just going to put this down a couple of times. It is pretty sticky. Some are more sticky than others. They're trying to get kind of a consistent stickiness in our designs, but so far we're still working on that. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, there's just a little bit of fuzz on the back, and that's what's going to help. After I wash this, it'll be super sticky all over again, but you shouldn't have to fuzz it again. So I am going to kind of center this on this chalkboard. I am using an 18 by 18 Sylvie chalkboard, and Sylvie has a really nice thick frame around it. It is not a magnetic board. We do have one magnetic board available called Aiden, but it doesn't come in the square size, so I love working with the square ones. So So I'm thinking that where I cut it is about the halfway mark for this transfer. So I'm going to pop this right about there. And if all goes well, the second half should go right next to it. I wonder if I should move it in a little bit. Let's see how far this goes over. Almost right to the center. I'm going to pull it in just a little bit before I continue. So maybe like an inch from the edge. I'm good? All right. Okay, so as soon as you have that down in the place that you want it, you want to make sure that there are no bumps, bubbles, folds, or if you hear any crackling sounds in your transfer, that means you have an air bubble, and you want to be sure that in the openings, which I should have explained, anywhere that you see the black showing through here, there's a silk screen that runs through the design, and that gives it lots and lots of detail. But you want to make sure that they're down nice and tight so that you don't get any leaks. And it's pretty rare to find that you have a bleed or a leak through your transfers if you're careful about making sure they're nice and smooth. And you can do this with your hand, you can do it with your squeegee, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So if you guys are just joining, be sure to hit that S-H-A-R-E button. That is the word that Facebook says we're not supposed to say. So I've been saying sprinkle lately. I heard that from a very wise designer who always asks her friends to sprinkle her video so that others can learn about Chalk Couture too. And I'm not saying the S-H-A-R-E word. Yeah, okay. So this is what I'm using tonight. I am using Bark Chalkology paste. See if you can get that in the camera and see it's a nice chocolate brown color, and I'm using a small squeegee. I'm going to scoop out some of that chalk paste and just smooth it over this whole design. And I also want to remember to get those registration marks too, because did I get the white? I think I left my white behind me on the shelf. Forget that. Hold on. Ah, this one's almost empty. Let me see, I gotta grab another one. Thought I took one out. That's not white, but this one is. Okay, I got a white one too. I'm gonna use white because it shows up really nicely on the black rather than the brown. It'll be harder to see the registration marks. So pardon me. I'm on mute. Can anybody else hear me or not hear me? Can you let me know if you can hear me? Just wave, you're on mute. Jan, I wonder if you're on mute because Garda could hear me earlier. Can you just check on that, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. While you're doing that, I'm going to stir up my white paste. Just wave, you're on mute, she said. Okay, let me see if I can see your comments here. Okay, so Libby can hear me, Garda can hear me. Jan, I think you're on mute, honey. Check your volume. All right, so I got my white chalk paste stirred up, and I'm going to go in and cover up these, the twigs, which are going to form the base of our wreath. So again, I'm going to take my small squeegee and just scoop some paste out of there with the squeegee, and you smooth it all over the design, much like you would do if you were buttering toast. Just smooth it on. You don't have to worry about staying in the lines. You don't have to using too much. As a matter of fact, you want to use more than less chalk when you're working with this, because all of the excess chalk that you use is going to get scooped up and put right back in the jar as soon as it's covered, just like it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over the design with my squeegee and scoop off all of that excess chalk, put it right back into the side of the jar, like so. It really does look like chocolate pudding. Anybody else getting hungry? I have her on my mute. I don't understand, Jane. I mean, Jan, you should be able to hear me. Okay. So this is getting nice and smooth, and you can see the design underneath, which usually means you've scraped plenty off. You don't want to leave it too thick, but the important thing to remember is you want to remove that design transfer before it dries. So I'm also going to mark these little registration marks, like I said before, and that will help with lining up later on. And then I'm going to peel this up, like so. I usually start at the top. I don't know why I started from the bottom this time. Here we go. We'll try it from this angle. There we go. Okay. So you can see the little white marks right there, and that's going to help us with lining up later on. I'm going to hit this with my heat tool for just a second to get it dried up a little bit, because I'm going to lay that transfer back on top. It just takes a couple of seconds for this to dry. And if you don't have a heat tool, you can let it air dry, or you can use a hair dryer. Anyone will do. That looks pretty good. So hopefully this is still wet enough for me to reattach right next to the other one. Got a little bit of chalk dust going on here. Oh, so maybe I should have come in just a little bit further than I did, but oh well. It'll work, right? Okay, so they're not quite attaching. I almost feel like I could have gone around there 3 times, but I'm going to go in there again. And before I do that, I'm just going to rub this down, make sure it's tight enough. And I'm going to do the same thing with that bark colored paste to go all over it. Leave it nice and thick. Hello, Renee. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we'll see how this looks. I've got all of the branches covered. And go back in again and scrape off all that excess while it's still wet. Put it right back in the jar. So it's wonderful that there's very, very little waste when you're chalking. Sometimes I like to kind of go in a snowplow motion. Seems to get the most up. And again, you want to make sure that you don't let it dry on your transfer, because if it does, it'll pull up with the, when you pull the transfer up, the paste will come with it. And you don't want that to happen. Okay, so I'm going to pull this. Oh, I didn't mark the white spots. Don't forget the white spots. Okay, and those again are just little guideline dots for where we're going to put the next layer. And they didn't go through very well, but I think I know exactly where they were. I can see them just a tiny little bit. So I'll go in there and mark it like this. There and right there. Okay, let's hit this with the dryer for a minute. How are you, Renee? I thought I might see you in Portland last weekend. So I'm kind of wondering now if I should have had these tips come together in the center. It seems like it would be too small for the size of the leaves that we're working with, but you know what? If it doesn't come out right, it's on a chalkboard and you can wash it right off. So I can see that you've got a huge glare. So let me see if I can play with my lamp a little bit here and see if that helps. Maybe not. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. So you guys, if you could share, oops, I said that word, S-H-A-R-E, this video, I would so appreciate that. There is a S-H-A-R-E button. right below this video, or above it actually. Above or below, I'm not really sure at the moment. But if you could do that, that would help me immensely just to grow my audience a little bit. I'll tell you what, if we can get 25 people watching tonight, I'm going to have a little giveaway for somebody. So let me know when you have done that. Just write S-H-A-R-E in the comments, or you can write sprinkle in the comments, whatever you prefer. Okay, we're going to remove this transfer from the carrier sheet, and I'm going to fuzz this one like crazy because, as I said, it's going to go on top of the branches that we've already chalked. And if the transfer is too sticky, unfortunately, it will pull that chalk up with it. So we want to be sure that this is good and fuzzed. Again, I'm using a fuzzing towel by Couture. They are available on my website. And I'm going to put my website in the comments here in case you are interested. Go, that in there, and I'm going to pin that to the top in case you're looking for it. Oh, that doesn't want to pin. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll pin that up to the top. So this is, again, is a transfer that is not in the new catalog. I don't know if it's going to be retired. It could be paused so that it comes back another time, but I don't know that at this point. So we're fuzzing this down, fuzzing it really well. That feels much better. And we're going to go over that first layer. So I am going to be looking for those registration marks again right there, and try to get those over the white marks that I left earlier. Kind of see where they are. I can see them until I put it down. And then I can't. So, okay, let's see. Oh, there's one. And there's the other. So that's right about where they should be. Okay. So again, I'm going to go in there and rub this down. I'm not going to rub quite as hard as I did the first time because I do have that layer underneath and I don't want to put too much pressure on there. So I'm rubbing that down. I actually feel like I'm going to pull this in to see if we can get that gap closed a little bit on the circle. So we're fudging it a little bit, you guys. That's all good. As long as it's kind of lined up with the other marks, we should be fine. Guess I haven't really thought that part out very well. It's okay, right? Let's see where those marks are. All right, let's see what happens. Doesn't come out right, it gets it back and we can wash it right off again. Alright, nice lightly rub down. And I'm going to show you how to work the hot mess technique. So to do the hot mess technique, you're going to use a couple different colors. Tonight I'm going to be using Meadow. I'm going to be using Bright White. And I'm also going to be using this color, which is called Mint Green. This is not available any longer, but we do have some comparable colors that you can choose from. So to do this technique, grab another squeegee. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these 3 jars, and I'm going to put a little bit of chalk on the leaves. So I think I'm going to do this in 3, maybe I'll do it all at once and see what happens. I'm just going to use my stirring stick, which I have done before. I actually went live because I didn't want to have you waiting while I did all of these different colors. I'm just going to plop color on the leaves very, very randomly, just trying to get a little bit here and there so all of the leaves have just a little bit of those colors on them. This would be a good transfer to use the 4-inch squeegee with, and I didn't bring it with me. Nope, I don't have it here. Okay, so there's the darker green. I'm going to go in with the lighter green and do the exact same thing. Oops, that's a big plop. Just plopping some color all over the design. I am working quickly because I don't want any of my paste to dry before I get done. This chalk paste, I believe, froze, and as much as I've been working it, it doesn't come smooth, but it seems to work okay as soon as I roll the squeegee over it. No problem. Again, I'm just doing this very, very randomly. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the white. If you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, please feel free to ask. This is really a fun technique to do, and every time you do it, it comes out different. The tricky part is going to be to pick this up and move it and do it again really quickly so the transfer isn't drying before I run the squeegees again. Okay, so we've got that there. I'm going to have a paper towel handy to clean my squeegee off on because I don't want to squeegee it off and put it back in the jar because that would just contaminate the colors. So here we go. I'm just going to smooth it over the whole design, blending those colors together. It really looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? So this is going to make it look more realistic with the variegated leaves. So there is a bit of waste when you do this, but it's worth it. Just blending those colors in and wiping off the excess on the towel. Okay, you ready for the big reveal, the peel and reveal? You guys are being too quiet. All right, here we go. It's really pretty, you guys. Look at that. All right, so I'm very quickly going to put this one on. I'm going to flip it over and put it back and try to get this in the right spot so that we don't have a gap between the leaves, or at least not too big of one. I should probably dry that first, right? Yes. Good. You can kind of tell when it's dry because it looks dull. What do you guys think of it so far? We're going to add a little something to it too to make it really fun. Alright, so hopefully this hasn't dried up on me and it'll work again. Throw that back down. I'm seeing where the guidelines were before and just moving it in a little bit to close up the gap, which I didn't realize we were going to have, but we do. And it's all good. We could just add a few more leaves here and there if we want to. Okay, again, I'm just going to lightly brush that down a little bit and go in and start plopping that color like we did before. Just dabbing it around all over the design. Doesn't look so pretty when you do it the second time around, does it? Alright, getting that green down. Again, this color is called Meadow. It's a really pretty green. Then I'm going to go in with Mint. Again, another color that I don't believe we have, but I think there's something very similar available. If you guys are watching my news feed, you're going to know that we are coming out with some new transfers next week. And this week is going to be the last chance to get a bunch of our transfers that we've had. They're going to be leaving the product line forever. So check my my list on my Facebook page, and you should be able to see what it is. I posted a video yesterday of all the different ones, and they told us there still might be more coming out, to be letting us know that others are going to be leaving the line this week too. So one more color. Let's go in with the white. The white really brightens this up, kind of a fresh color. So, getting there. Almost to the bottom. Then we're going to add some really cool accents to this as well. Okay, let's go in and squeegee this around. I just stuck my finger in the extra stuff over here. Just pulling that across the whole design. Making sure that all of the open areas are covered, of course. Cover it all up. Now, if I was not doing this on camera, I probably would have cleaned the transfer in between because you really have to work quickly so this doesn't dry. It does feel a little different after you've done it the transfer the second time, and it takes a little longer. So, and it doesn't want to scrape that very easily. So that's about that. So cross your fingers. Hopefully this will be wonderful. All right, can you see this, guys? All right, I'm going to say this isn't perfect by any means. I do have a gap here and here. I'm wondering if there are any small leaves on the extra part of that transfer that I can use. There is. Oh my gosh. Saved. There it is right there. I'll get my scissors out. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. Not a problem. I think it's really good that I make mistakes when I'm live with you guys, because then you know how to fix them when it happens to you too, right? Gotta look on the sunny side. Okay, let's see. Let me get rid of this so I can see what you're seeing. You're awfully quiet, I gotta say. Makes me nervous. Talk to me. Oh, there we go. Why can't I see you there? Hi, Sarah. Let's see who we got. Thank you, Jan. What is the best way to clean the transfers? When you are done using them, you're going to put them in, I usually put them in my sink and I run lukewarm water over them. And we have something called a board eraser. Don't have one handy, but it looks kind of like a magic eraser, but doesn't have chemicals inside of it that you can scrub them clean with. If you don't have one, just use your hand and rub the extra paste out of it. Flip it over when it's clean, dry its sticky side up, and then replace it back on that carrier sheet. So, all right, I'm going to grab my dryer and make sure this is good and dry, and then I'm going to go back in and add a couple more leaves on the top and the bottom where I had the gap. And that should be better. I posted a comment with my website. Now I can see your comment. So sorry about that. Thank you, Libby. In case you wondered, we are going to get rid of those little white marks too. Those are not going to be permanent residents right there. I'm going to come in and make just a couple of leaves and fill this gap in. Get a smaller squeegee. I can probably even use the paste that I removed earlier because it's still kind of variegated. So I'm going to do this real quickly. Paste and peel. And paste and peel again here. I'm doing this super quick. Do one more. Should I put one more? One more. One more there. That worked perfectly, you guys. I'm going to come up here and put a couple in as well. This is working out nicely. Glad we thought of it. So in here. What do you think? Maybe one or two more here. What do you think? That look good? I'm going to put one here too. I don't know why. It feels like you need one right here. Okay. I think I'm happy now. Happy. Okay. Stop. I could just keep going and going. And before you know it, I have this huge fat wreath full of leaves. I wouldn't have any place to embellish. So, okay, let me put the covers back on here, and then we're going to add some fun little embellishments to this. What do you think they're going to be? It comes with fruit and flowers, but I'm thinking something a little bit different. It does dry pretty fast, yes, for sure. All right, so before I do that, I'm going to move this because I have a lot of paste in this paper towel, and I know myself, I will put my hand right in it if I'm not careful. And cover this white, and we'll get this cleaned up, and we'll add the little extras that I think will look cute on here. All right, so get another paper, and we'll clean up those white spots. I'm just putting a little white water on a paper towel, and these should come right off, just like so. And this is water-soluble chalk paste. It goes on wet, obviously, dries hard in a matter of minutes, but you can clean it right off with water and a paper towel. Scrubs right off. Like that. Even if it's been on here a year, it will come off. Not a problem. Got a little bit smudged over there as well. A little more water. There we go. This is so strange that I can see your comments on my iPad, but not on my computer. Don't know why that's happening. Let me see if I can remove my post. Well, let me do that. That's okay. I'll keep looking at my iPad. Anyhow, I think. All right, so here's my thoughts. I was thinking about using this. This is called Homespun Hearts. And I was thinking about scattering some hearts around on the wreath. There's quite a few different ones on here. There's about 9 or 10, I'd say. And some of them have little faces on them, and I don't think I'm going to use those. But maybe some of the more simple ones. Let's see. Renee, are you on my live tonight, or are you just messaging me? I'm not quite sure if she's watching or not, but she's messaging me. If you are, please be sure to say hello in my live so I know you're watching. All right, so I'm just going to take out the ones with the little faces on it. Those are cute for kids, but I don't know. All right, so what do you think? Scatter a couple little hearts around here for Valentine's Day. This is my thought. If you guys have any other ideas, let me know. Probably another bigger one right here. And I also have the word love that I think I'm going to put right in the center. Right in the center. Like so. Okay. Guys like this idea? Or is it lame? Tell me, tell me. Oh my gosh, I have such a delay. I can't understand what's going on. I'm going to reload my page and see if that helps. Hang in there, guys. Oh, is my Wi-Fi frozen? No. Okay, let's try this. My husband moved our Wi-Fi connector to a different room, and I don't know if that's the problem. Let's try this. I'll open up another window. Yeah, my computer's frozen, so I'm going to try to see your comments in my iPad. So if I miss you, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Libby. I'm kind of loving it too. All right, so I have pink and I have red for our hearts and the word love. So let's start right here. These I have not used. And I'm not going to take all the time to write on every single one, everything that I need to. I'm just going to kind of draw it in the direction that it's going. This is a heart with a ruffly edge, so I'll just kind of scribble a ruffly edge around it. Yeah. And this one is like a double heart. And this is kind of a narrow heart. I'll just kind of draw it. This really does help. If you're working with lots of transfers and you write on the back, you'll know which one goes on which one. This is kind of a fatter heart. This is a double, kind of a double. That reminds me of a grapevine, so I'll just draw two hearts there. And this is a taller solid. All right, and I don't know if I'm going to use those yet. This one I've used before, so it's all ready to go. Okay, that was quick, huh? All right, let's start by placing these around. Let's kind of alternate the larger and the smaller ones, maybe. And we'll put this guy up here and there, and then I'll come back with another one right here. Yay! Do an ombre for the word? I sure could. I think it's cute. I like the love in the middle and all the hearts. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sometimes I wonder if my ideas are like, I don't know if they're going to like that or not, but it's good to get your feedback for sure. All right, so these have not been used. A couple of them have been used, but this one has not. So I'm just going to put it on here and start fuzzing them up a little bit. That one's been used. This one is brand new. If you guys have just hopped in, let me know where you're coming from. I know a couple of you are from my area. There's a few new people watching, and I don't know where you're from, so say hello. And I'm just going to fuzz these up a little bit. And we're just going to go in with, I don't know, do you think I should do pink, red, and white hearts, or just red, or just pink? What do you think? All right, let's see. I don't want to put them like straight up and down. I'm afraid it'll look like a clock. That's not really the look I'm going for. Just kind of loosely scattering those around. Ombre for the word. You've got it, Miss Libby. Here I am. I'm trying not to do 12, 3, 6, and 9 like a clock, but it's hard not to. Kind of makes you want to, which is kind of weird. There. So those are all the big ones. So I'll try, I think I'll do those, and then I'm gonna have to put one of them down here maybe. I think I should do 5 so it doesn't look like a clock. So I'm gonna move this one here. I'm gonna move this just a little bit over. Just a little bit up, and then I can put 2 more there and there. I think that'll work. Okay. All right, so let's go. I can put these down as well, I guess. Why not? Put one here. Put one there. Try to not have them all at the same angle either, so that will look weird. Okay. All right, so we've got 5, and then we'll bring them down. I can put this one down here too. We'll bring them all down. Red hearts, pink love. Oh, that'd be pretty too. Sure would. Okay, we're going in. If I can get the jar open. Okay, just putting it on the edge of my table a little bit. My husband's going to think it's a construction zone in here. That worked. I just used the red, so I don't think I even need to stir that one, and this one should be okay too. They are. Alright, let's get 2 little squeegees ready. And we'll start working our way around. I think I'm going to just, I don't know, do you think I should add white hearts too, or just red and pink? Red hearts, red and pink, red and pink. Oklahoma! Thanks for joining us, Rebecca. Glad to have you here. Alright, I'm just going to start going at it and see how it turns out. We can always add little white hearts if it needs to be a little brighter, right? Okay, there's that one. And I'm going to peel this off and just move it around a little bit. I'll put it, I'm going to put it over this way. And do it again. If you use them really quickly, you can use the transfer more than once. It's harder on the bigger transfers like the Wreath that I did earlier, because that's a bigger area and it does tend to dry in some places, but There we go. We got two of those little cuties. Let's go into a little bit of red next. And let's see, where should I go? I'll do the bigger ones in the reds and pinks first, and then see about doing some whites if we want to. Here's that one. These are really cute, you guys. Love them. Let's see, I'll do one here. So, you know, you really could do the wreath, spray it with sealer, and then change out your decorations anytime you wanted to. Wouldn't this look cute with Easter eggs on it? That would be adorable. All right, let me see, what should we do? I think I'm going to do this one in pink here. And always scraping off the excess, even on these little guys. You don't want to leave them too thick. That one, and I don't know. I think I'm going to go back and see where else I need one with that. Now, I think I'm going to come in with some white ones, and then we'll see about where we need to fill in. We definitely need something right there, though. For sure, for sure. Do I have smaller hearts? They would look nice and white around there. Yes, I do. I have tiny little ones. They're so small. There's one more somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Oh, no, not those. There's one that's so tiny I can't even find it. How's that? I'm going to try going in with white on this one. I don't know if it's going to show up real well, but we'll see. You can always go over it with a different color if you don't like it. Oh, it's kind of cute tucked in there. I think I'll tuck it over here too. Let's see. Try not to match the angles on all these different hearts. Kind of hard to do random. Okay. A couple of those done. I think I'm going to go up here with some white. Needs a little brightening there. Peel and pull. So cute. Do you like the white ones? Can you do the solid hearts using the technique you did with the leaves? You absolutely could. I think it would be too much blending if we did it on the hearts too, though, maybe. What do you think? I don't know why these white ones are really like popping for me. But I think it would look like too much blending colors. I'm gonna put you over here too. Yes, I do talk to my transfers. Why not? Stay. That's okay. So do you guys decorate for Valentine's Day? Libby, you're awesome. Just keep saying I love it, I love it. Alright, so we definitely need something right here. It's right between a pink and a red, so kind of like, what color should it be? I think I'm going to go with this one in red, because it is different than that one. Yep, it's going to be this one. We'll do this one, and we'll do that in the red, because it's very thin. It's not so much as, not too much red. Just a little tiny bit. Okay. Voila. Okay. All right, I'm going to do the word in the middle, and then we're going to see if we want to fill in any place else. So you guys put on your thinking caps and let me know. I'm going to get the love ready, but I'm going to hit this with the dryer for just a minute to make sure that I don't smudge it with the love word. Thank you, Garda. Love that this dries so quickly. So let's pull this, get it off. I've used this before. This is another one. Actually, all three of the transfers that I've used tonight are not in the new catalog, which means that January 31st, they are going bye-bye. Okay. I guess it's going to be straight. All right, so somebody had a request for an ombre for the love. I think it was you, Garda. Is that you, Garda, or was it Libby who asked me for the ombre love? So we can do that. Just need to figure out what colors. I kind of like the pink and the white together. So what do you think? Should we do that? All right, so if you haven't seen the ombre technique before, what we're going to do is we're going to do half of the word in one color and half of the word in another color. Then we're going to dampen the finger and just blend them together in small circular motions. It's a really cool look. So let's do it. Getting really adventurous tonight, all these different techniques. So here I'm going to go in with the pink, and I'm going to go, I don't know, about halfway. I'm going to go a little further so we get a little bit of pink on the shorter letters as well. So there's the pink. I'm going to scrape off the excess. If you're doing a larger area, you might want to wait and do this after you've added all of your paste, but before you've blended. I'm going to get some white and go around on the bottom. So I'm spreading this, but I'm not letting the colors touch. I'm trying not to contaminate the colors. But I will blend them together with my finger, like I said, but trying not to let them touch while I'm just applying the paste. Okay, so here we go. This is the messy part. Going to take my finger. I'm not going to do this over here. I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of water. Then don't go in with a sopping wet water. Just kind of tap it off. And then go in and just do these little tiny circular motions with your finger. And that will make that ombre blended look. This is going to be pretty. Okay, as soon as you're done, you're going to peel that off. When you're peeling, you want to grab it from the corner, but as soon as you can grab it from the center, do so. Otherwise, you can surely stretch your transfer. Oh, it's really pretty. I love it. It looks so good, you guys. It's always prettier in person, too. I'll change my angle a little bit so you can see a little better. There we go. What do you think? Pull it up so you can see it a little closer. All right, do you see any place where we should add any more? Sometimes things feel a little unbalanced. What do you think? Is this area got enough in it? Sometimes I just can't leave well enough alone, right? Okay, well, I hope you like this project. Did you guys have any questions about anything that I did? I keep scrolling through here. Sorry, I can't see my computer is not loading for me to see your comments. Let's see. Oh, you guys. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Again, I used Squeeze the Day. It's a large E-size transfer. I used Love Homespun Hearts. What was that one called? Love something. Love Hearts. I should have known that. And I used Meadow chalk paste. I used a light green, which we do not have anymore, but you can find something very similar on my website. I also used bark. I used Peony, which is my pink one, Candy Apple Red, and Bright White Chalk Paste. So those are all available on my website if you are interested in purchasing any of those, or if you have any questions and I can help you, please ask, please ask. You learned a lot. Greta, thank you. I'm glad you did. I'd love to hear things like that. So, all right. So what should we do next time? That's the wrong lid. I have a couple little quick Valentine things I'd love to show you. I'm kind of done working with my winter things. I do have a workshop coming in the night after tomorrow to do the ice skate lessons. But after that, I am getting ready to focus on spring, and that's going to be really exciting, and possibly having a special going on in my VIP group in a few days. So if you're not in my VIP group and you'd like to be to see about my local events and specials, please write VIP in the comments. If you are interested in getting paid to craft like I do, this is so much fun. Write join in the comments and I will get you some information. If you're interested in my Club Couture, which I think it was Libby, I'll check after. I'm going to get back to you about that. Club Couture is so much fun. They ship you a transfer and some chalk paste singles every month so you can create an exclusive design. So much fun. I'd love to have you in my club. Write club if you'd like information about that. So that is all that I have for you tonight. Hello, Leslie. Thank you, Jan. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and demonstration. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll get right back to you. Have a wonderful night and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.